each and every one of you. Well, my name is Franklin Farragon, aka Servant David. I'm here doing this video kind of for YouTube and for mainly for Facebook and Instagram. To ask you guys to help me spread health awareness by subscribing to my YouTube channel. And what I mean by that is, for most of you who do know me, you are aware of my story. And for those who don't know, I'll brief you on it a little bit. Back in 2018, I was diagnosed with AIDS, lung cancer, and skin cancer. And through the grace of God, I'm still here and able to do even this video here. So my goal is basically to spread health awareness to each and every one, because us humans have seemed to neglect the awareness of health, and we've seemed to even more underestimate the awareness of illnesses. And there are all types of illnesses, from AIDS, diabetes, sarcoma, which are different kind of cancers, shingles, chicken pox, the common flu. So my goal is to spread awareness on health. Spread awareness on the prevention. Spread awareness on being proactive instead of reactive. So that's kind of the goal. But I need help getting there. I need help getting there. I need to be able to reach as many people as possible. On my YouTube channel, you will find things that are non-health related. Because most of the songs that I do, I have a lot of songs. And most of the songs that I are have something to do with what I was going through in my childhood. Thank God we always will believe, even if precious Lord take my hand. Songs like those. All my hope is in Jesus. God now will let me down. Those are just a few. I have a little bit of comedy on here as well, sort of like just let it run, and you guys ask questions in the comments. After I go back and look at all the questions that you want to ask me, and you can ask me anything. It does not matter what you want to ask me. You can ask me anything. It's me, my story, my life, my thing. You can ask me anything you want to ask me about me. You know, how do I feel about certain things? You know, you can ask me anything you want to ask. You know. So yeah, after the video, you know, and everything, and I give it some time for people to watch, I will go back and look at the questions and then answer the questions in another video, which I will call part 2 of getting to know me, and so on and so forth. The parts like part 1, part 2, part 3, they'll come as new questions are asked in the first video or period. You know, I'll be taking questions on Facebook, Instagram, you know. But yeah, that's what this one here is gonna be about. So go ahead, guys, ask anything. You know, anything you wanna ask. That's basically it, you know. Remember, comment anything that you want to ask me. Personal, non-personal, you know. Just if you want to get to know me, you ask. Them say the squeaky wheel get the oil, right? Yeah. Manners and love each and every one of you. Out. Bless greetings, everyone. How you do? Well, this is part 2 of getting to know me. Yeah? Getting to know me, Servant David. In part 1, you know, it was just an introductory of this, where you would ask the questions and I answer them in this one. The questions that you ask in this one, I will answer in part 3, and so on and so forth. So, just to give you guys a little idea of who I am, I'm gonna, you know, answer these questions. One of the questions is, how old am I? How old am I? I'm 47 years old. My birthday is in March 9th, 1973. Am I married or in a relationship? I've been married twice, married a third time, involved with someone, yeah, you know? A cookie jar, yeah, I call her my cookie jar, yeah? That's my baby. Where is my family staying? Well, I have family all over the world. I have family in England, I have family in Africa, America, Canada, Jamaica, all over, you know? Yeah. Am I on YouTube for money? No. I'm not here for any money. I'm not here for any fame. I'm not here for any glory. But all the glory goes to God. You know? All the glory goes to God. All the glory goes to God. So I'm not here for money. I'm not here for fame or anything like that. What I'm here for is, you see, as a child, I was born with a rare disease called Hirschsprung's disease. As I get old, I got through that, you know, I survived that, and as I got through that and go into, you know, life, later on in life I was diagnosed with skin cancer, lung cancer, and full-blown AIDS. So it's that diagnosis that inspired me to go health, and they have neglected health awareness. You know, so I wanna bring health back to awareness to people. I wanna tell people about diseases, about precautions, about sicknesses, from AIDS to diabetes to herpes to shingles, everything. You know, so that's what I want to use this YouTube channel for, as to start a health awareness group. So basically, that's what that is. You know, and how many kids do I have? I have one daughter, but I have many kids. Kids adapt to me, I adapt to kids. You know, I love kids, and they seem to love me as well. So, yeah, you know, I have one daughter. What else was I asked? What is my goal in life? My goal in life is to serve God, to serve and please God. Not man or anybody else, but to serve and please God. That's my goal in life.
Last greetings info.
What else? When do I post? When do I post vids? And which days should you expect? Well, to tell you the truth, about at least 2, maybe 3 times a day, I will post a video. I will upload a video and post it at least 2 or 3 times a day. Yeah. What else we got here? Where do I live? At the present time, I'm living in the USA, in Connecticut. You know? Yeah. How many dogs do I have? I have 25 dogs. I have 9 that are with me, and the rest are kind of spread out here and there, you know, among some kennel partners and people within the circle. You know, what's the benefits of having so many dogs? I have a dog kennel. I run a dog kennel, and I do dog shows. You know, where they from pulling weights, hunting hogs, climbing walls, you know, treadmill racing, all kind of stuff like that. When I do breedings, I rarely ever sell or give away pups. I usually keep them. So in a way, that's how I end up with so much, because I don't really sell pups like that. You know? Where do the dogs sleep? The dog them sleeping at them dog house or in the cage. I have dogs inside the house at times, but they don't run loose in the house. They are in their cages in a certain area in the house where I have them. So yeah, they between outside and inside. It depends, and it depends on the weather sometimes too. All right. What's the name of my church? At the present time, I don't go to church. I don't go to church at the present time because of this COVID thing. But the church that I was going to is called Trinity Pentecostal Church of God. But yeah. What's my full name? My full name is Franklin Delano David Farragut. Servant comes from, you know, people give me that name because I like to help people. I like to do things. I'm always doing something for someone, you know, so they kind of call me Servant, you know, Servant David. But most people call me David still. Yeah? So they just add on the Servant. Yeah. What's my content on YouTube? Well, my content is various things. You know, it can be with the dogs. It can be, you know, like this, talking about me. Most of it is music. I love music. I love to do music. I sing over songs most of the time. I write my own song every now and then. I do my own stuff. So that's the content. What do I like about YouTube? What I like about YouTube is that you can meet many people through this program, through this thing here, and you can reach out to many people. So I don't listen to radio, I don't watch TV. So I use YouTube like a radio or a TV more time. What's my favorite color? My favorite color is blue. I like pink, lavender, turquoise, red. I like those colors, but my favorite color is blue or turquoise. Where was I born? If I tell you the truth, you wouldn't believe me if I tell you. But I was born here in America. As I said, I was sick as a child, and I ended up going to Jamaica to live for a couple of years as a child, and then I come back here. I went to go live with my grandmother, and she kind of took care of me as a child when I was young. So that's where I was born, and that's about it. Right now, well, that's all the questions that were asked. So in this video here, feel free to comment on the questions that I answered, and feel free to ask other questions. You can ask me anything that you want to ask me at all. It does not bother me. Ask me anything, whether it be personal or not personal, you can ask me. I will answer those questions in part 3 of getting to know me. So I thank you guys for coming. I thank you guys for participating and asking me the questions. Those were quite a few questions. So I'm pretty happy with that. That tells me that somebody is interested and want to know me, and So yeah. God bless you all, and you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Yeah? And try to do something for somebody today. Try to be nice. Blessed greetings, everyone. Servant David again. Well, this is part 3 of getting to know me. This is where, people will ask me questions in the previous videos, and in the next video, I answer them. So it's like, this is part 3. You will ask questions in this video, and then I answer them in part 4. That's Chupacabra back there. That's chilling with me today. Yeah? So, yeah. This is part 3 of getting to know me. So in part 2, I was asked a few questions, and I was also asked some on Facebook. Say good morning, Chupa. Yeah, so one of the questions was, how did I have to take chemotherapy for the lung cancer or the skin cancer that I had? They wanted to give me chemotherapy, but it was kind of hard because due to the other diagnosis that I had, which was AIDS, it would be too risky to do chemo because chemotherapy basically kills off all cells. And my immune system was already down, way down. So it was too risky. They did try it, for a little while, and it wasn't a good thing, so they stopped. So yes, they did attempt it, but they had to stop it. You know. In part 2, I was asked. Well, I mentioned about my cookie jar. You know, my special someone. You know, my wife. You know, third wife. And I was asked, do I see a future with this one? Because I've been married 3 times. You know. And my reply to that would have to honestly be, I'm not looking to see, because a lot of things come to us by faith, and faith is the substance of things hoped for but not yet seen. So I have faith that, you know, it will work. Another question was, do I want any more kids? The way this country running right now, no, I wouldn't want to bring someone into this world and they have to face what's here and what is to come. Because enough things has happened in this world, but we're not saying nothing yet. We'll leave more left to come. So yeah, that's part 3 of getting to know me. Ask any questions here in the comments below. And in part 4, I will definitely get back to you. Until then, manners and blessed love. Say out. Blessed greetings, everyone. Servant David again. Well, this is part 4 of getting to know me. As you know, you ask questions in the present video, and in the next video, I answer the questions, and so on and so forth. So when you ask me questions in this video, which I encourage you all to do, I will respond to the questions in the next one. So this is part 4. The questions will be answered in part 5, and so on and so forth. If you happen to watch a video and leave a comment in one of the previous videos, I constantly check the comments and stuff, so those questions will be added into the next one in case I missed any, because I don't want anyone to, you know, feel left out. Okay, so on to this first question for part 4. Why am I so nice? I don't know. That's just me. I just like to help people, you know. I'm just born that way, I guess, you know. Even though a lot of times people take, you know, your kindness for weakness. When am I going back to Jamaica? That question was asked because in my previous video I mentioned I'm 47 years old, and the last time I've been to Jamaica I was 19 years old. So they said, well, when am I going back to Jamaica? I don't know. I don't even know what's going to happen in the next 15 minutes from now. So I really don't know. Honestly, that's the honest answer. And that's all I can be, is honest. Do I have brothers and sisters? Yes. From my mother and father, I have a brother, younger brother, and an older sister. She's about 2 years older than me. And by my father, I have a half-white brother. What do I think about my haters? I embrace them. You have to have some type of weight. It's like a weightlifter being in the gym and is lifting weights. You know, if there's no resistance, you don't get stronger. So the haters help me to get stronger, you know? And when there's too much of them, I just send them a get well card, you know? Of getting to know me, you know? Well, first question for this one here is, what inspired me to be a YouTuber? Well, what inspired me really was the diagnosis that I got on myself, you know. That inspired me to want to go further and put awareness to health. So start a thing called health awareness on the YouTube channel, you know. So that kind of inspired me to do that. Yeah. Do I only like dogs or all animals? Well, to tell you the truth, I like all animals. You know, all animals I like. But I really love dogs, you know. What are 3 reasons one should subscribe to me or follow me? One main reason is I'm genuine and I'm real. 2 is I'm not going to bash anyone or give you content that is intentionally offensive to others. 2, if you want a different thing, if you want a different type of vibes, a different type of thing, you can follow me, you know? What's my favorite food? Ackee and saltfish. And then next would come seafood. So over the past maybe 16 to 18 months that I've been cutting down or stopped eating certain like shell food, you know? What do I like most about YouTube? You can meet a lot of people. You can meet a lot of people there, and it can be used as something progressive and positive. You know, what do I like most about you? What do I hate most about YouTube? I hate the fact that it's always changing. The YouTube itself is always changing and making it harder for people to elevate or to post or anything like that, you know? Why don't I like silent grinds? It's just my thing. I don't see the point in it. I don't knock anyone for doing it. You know, when I go to someone's house, if I see them with the light, you know, the silent, every now and then I'll leave a comment or I'll sit there and support them, but then I'm gone because I'm not really one for the silent. I rather do what I call the grinding in the dark. At least you're hearing something, you're communicating instead of just sitting there, you're not really seeing nothing, you're not really hearing nothing. Yeah? What else? Do I miss Jamaica? Absolutely. Even though the way that I run, you know, I said I run wicked, but I miss it. What do I love about dogs? They are loyal, more loyal than humans. They don't talk back. They don't cause too much trouble. They're not haters, stuff like that, you know. And they just give me a calm, you know. Has any of my dogs ever bite me? No, none of my dogs ever bit me. Come with a bite them back, and I think them know that. So, you know, can I swim? Shoo, like a fish. Yeah, can't swim, man. You know, what do I do for work? By trade, I'm a chef. I'm a pastry chef by trade. At the present time, due to this COVID thing,
it got the food industry kind of shut down a little bit. You know, I basically work for a banquet hall where we do weddings and stuff like that. So we can't really have those type of things going on right now. So at the present time, I'm working at Walmart. What do I do? Do I regret being diagnosed with AIDS? No, because this thing has made me stronger and more aware to health, more open-minded to things, and it has educated me even more. You know, can I play any musical instruments? Yeah, I play the drums. I can play the piano a little something, but I play the drums or know how to play the drums. You know, I've been following you. Someone says I've been following you on Facebook and YouTube, and I know you in real life. Why do you allow people to use you or take advantage of you? Very good question. I don't even think I really have an answer for that other than I'm just humble. I don't let certain things get to me too easy. You know? And maybe just because I'm just born too nice. Even though people take advantage of you, I'm just born nice. That's just me. You know, and even though a lot of people may do things, you know, like take your kindness for weakness, so at times they take your kindness for weakness. You know, but just because one person may do something like take advantage of me, use me, hurt me, you know, those things. I don't use what one person has done to me I don't use that against others. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt until they violate too much. And you can't even violate enough. And I still embrace you. You know? It's like, I don't know, I'm all about love. I got me as love. And love covers a multitude of sin. You know what I mean? And I also look at it, I'm a servant of God and I'm trying to follow God. How much time has I hurt God and upset him? But yet, him not turn from me. Him still embrace me and him take me in. He says we must have that type of love that he has. So that's what I try to do. I try to bring that type of love to people. Well, folks, that's it for part 5 of Getting. Blessed greetings, everyone. This is Servant David. Well, this is part 6 of Getting to Know Me. For those of you who don't know, this is where, like in this video here, part 6, you will ask me questions in the comments below. Hello. Ask me questions. And you can ask me anything that you want to ask me about me. There is no limit. All doors are open. No offense taken. Ask me anything you want to know about me. Yeah? So you will, in this video here, you ask questions, and in the next video, I answer them. So in this video, I'm going to actually be answering questions that were asked in the previous video, which would have been part 5, and so on and so forth. Yeah? So, I don't know. Next thing is, I don't rehearse or anything like that. Occasionally, I'll write things down. You know, but I don't rehearse or anything like that. So, let's just jump into it. Yeah? What was my favorite subject in high school? My favorite subject in high school was music class. Yeah, I loved music. I liked gym a lot, you know, but music class was my favorite. What was my least favorite subject in high school? My least favorite subject in school period, whether high school primary, anything like that. Just my least favorite subject is math. I hate math. And hate is a strong word. I hate math. What's my favorite cologne? Juke. I love Juke. Blessed greetings, everyone. Servant David again. Blessed greetings, everyone. This is Servant David again. And this is part 8 of getting to know me. Yeah? Well, as you know, this is where, in like this video here, you will ask me questions. And in part 9, I'll answer. So these questions I'm answering here are actually questions that were in part 7. So let's jump right into it. Have I ever traveled out of the USA? Yes, I have. I've been to Jamaica, Canada, Venezuela, Mexico. And that's about it. Oh, sorry, England. Been to England as well. Yeah. Did I grow with both parents? Yes, I did. Same. My parents, they've been married for over 50-something years or so. Still together to this day. And so, yes, both of them were in the house. What's the longest I worked one job? The longest I worked one job was, I think it was about 5 years or something like that. 5 or 6 years. So, blessed greetings each and every one. This is Servant David again from, yeah? Well, this one here is called part 9 of getting to know Servant David. So for those of you who know or who have been following me, there's parts to the Q's and A's that I do, like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, etc. So this here is part 9. But if this may be the first one you're seeing, you ask me questions in this one here, and I answer the questions in part 10. So these questions here that I'm answering in this one here are actually from part 8, right? And a few others too, because I often go back to the older ones, like say part 2, and look to see if any new questions have arisen. I also get questions from my Facebook page, and stuff like that. So we're gonna jump right into it. We ain't gonna delay, yeah? For the first question, for Servant David. If I had $1 million to donate to donate, who would I donate it to? I would take half of that million and donate it to AIDS research. The other half, I would seriously think about it, but at this point in time, I would give it to YouTube. I would invest in it in YouTube somehow. Not necessarily for gain for me, but to help it grow. Yeah? And to help out where others can help to grow. What's the best advice anyone has ever given to me? The best advice anyone has ever given to me was to turn my life over to Jesus Christ and serve God wholeheartedly. What would I tell my 18-year-old self? I would tell my 18-year-old self, if you know what God has in store for you right now, you would change your ways and start serving Him now. How did or does COVID handle me? It doesn't, and it didn't. I handle COVID. Coronavirus needs to be aware of me because I know who's within me. At the same time, I'm wise. I wear my mask, I wear my gloves when need be. And I don't really have to change much because most of the changing that I did have to do, as far as like keeping distances and stuff like that and being more careful, happened to me almost 18 months ago when I started to, when I got let's say a third or a fourth chance at life. There's many times that I probably wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for the grace of God. Does YouTube put me on a strain with God? I'm assuming you mean like, does YouTube draw me away from serving God more? I would have to honestly say no. Nah. And if nothing can take me from God. And if you watch my thing and you follow me, you already know. And if you know me in person, even more reason why you would know. In fact, it strengthens me because I'm here to do God's work. So no, it doesn't put a strain on me. God is the one who opened the door for me to be able to use this YouTube platform. When did I last read the Bible? I don't really read the Bible too much because I keep most of the word within me. But if I ever have to use the word or go into the word is always at my fingertips because I have the Bible on my phone. And not only that, but this here where you see me in my car is like my man cave. And my Bible stays with me. And I stay in my car most of the time, as most of you know. That's my Bible on my dashboard. Alright? So I'm constantly reading the Bible because I'm constantly saying something pertaining to the Bible. Maybe in different words. Because I speak truth. Have I ever thought of suicide? Of course. Whoever hasn't, or whoever says they haven't thought about suicide, they're lying. I've thought about suicide. I've even talked about suicide. Matter of fact, we're talking about suicide right now. You know, we're talking about it right now as we speak. So I've thought about it, but I know better. I've talked about it, but I know better to actually go do it. Because I know where I want to go. And I know in order to get there, that's the one sin that you can't repent from. I could never do myself harm or put myself in the way purposely of harm. Am I a real Christian? Again, for those of you who know me, you already know. And for those of you who don't know me, you know that I am different than the average human being. I respond, think, and act different. Although I may be similar sometimes. So when you ask me if I'm a real Christian, nah. I'm not. I'm not a real Christian. I would rather say I'm a Christian that's real. A real Christian is someone who dresses up and goes to church on Sunday, and before they even leave the parking lot that Sunday morning after service, they're back doing worldly things, or during the week they're doing worldly things, and they act so this and that in front of people. But behind closed doors or behind certain curtains with other people, they show their real colors on how they are. That's a real Christian. They act like they don't cuss sometimes and all those things. Like they're not human. Well, I'm human. So I move kind of like a human. You get me? So no, I'm not a real Christian, but I'm a Christian that's real. A Christian that's real is someone who is human and falls at times. But the greatest part about them is that they get back up. I'm a Christian who, and I don't even say I'm a Christian, I'm just saying Christian because people call me a Christian. I don't profess myself to be a Christian. I do profess myself to be a servant of God. But my actions to others will say, oh, he's a Christian. Or he's a pastor. I get that a lot. Are you a pastor? No, I'm not a pastor. And I don't want to be, because I'm too honest to be a pastor. So yeah, a Christian that is real is someone who falls but gets back up at times. Someone who is not perfect and not afraid to say that they're not perfect. Recognize and say they're not perfect. Yeah? How many vids do I have? Well, that would depend if you're talking about period all over, or if you're talking about YouTube. On YouTube, I have about 224, 25, 26, something like that. How many vids have I ever done? I don't know. I've done so many. I've been on TV. I've been on stage show with certain artists. To name a few, Adrian Cunningham, Shaba, Movado, Nesbeth, Chosen, a lot. Judith, yeah, a lot, but it's not about that, you know. So I'm sure cameras were rolling and stuff like that. So there's a lot of it with me in it. How do I feel about being able to go live? Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Finally, we feel good. Yeah. You asked me, am I on YouTube for money? Nope. I'm on YouTube to spread health awareness. Give some people what they want as far as comedy, music. And most of my music is done through, it has something with going through health awareness. And if I can spread the love of God, then I do that. What's my Facebook name? Franklin Ferrigon. FranklYN. FERRIGON. I've made a vow and a promise to God that for 2020, unless I know the person, I I will not be accepting any Facebook friend requests. So unless I know you, or you send me a message saying you saw this on YouTube and you're requesting friend or whatever, I'm not gonna accept you if you just hit friend request. Send me a message first. Unless I know you, then you just go ahead. I'll see you and I'll accept. Why don't I visit my brother in jail? My brother did something that he shouldn't have done. And he done that thing because he was on drugs that he chose to take. And I warned him and I warned him. And he didn't listen. Furthermore, I don't like the occupation of police, warden, or any of those things. Not that I don't like the people, the occupation, because once they take on that occupation, that job, they take advantage of it and abuse it. So that's why I don't visit him in jail. But I will write, I talk to him on the phone, and I will send him even a couple dollars if I can do that. Furthermore, I put away a little bit of money, whether it be $1 here or some change there, some pennies here. I put all of that away so that when he does come, like each time I get some money, I put something in that jar. And it's a pretty big jar, a big water jar. So that when he gets out, he can get that money. I figure, yes, he may need money in there while he's in jail, but he's gonna need some when he comes out as well. How do I find peace and happiness within myself? By leaning on the Lord, who is within me. By trusting in God. And by also not changing so that people will like me, but from being myself, so the real people will love me. Well, that's it for part 9 of Getting to Know Servant David. Feel free to, in the comments below, drop your questions, and I promise to get back to you as soon as possible. But remember, look out for those answers in part 10. And if you want to get to know me some more, go back and check out the other parts. Trust me, I doubt you'll be disappointed. Until next time, Servant David say as always, love, manners, and elevation. I lift the part, blend in with the rest of the church crowd. I know the routine. I can list all the Bible studies in town. I watch Christian TV. I know all the pastors and their cliches. I've been born again, and without a doubt, I know I'm saved. But sometimes I hurt, sometimes I cry, sometimes I can't get it right, no matter how hard that I seem to try. Sometimes I fall down and I stumble all over my own disguise. I try to look strong, the whole world looks on. Sometimes alone I cry. I try to speak faith, never give that devil not even an inch to get in. I do worship and praise, let everybody know just where that I stand. And on the back of my car is a fish and a cross for the world to see. 'Cause I know my God is good all the time. Yes, there's no doubt for me. But sometimes I hurt, sometimes I cry, sometimes I can't get it right. No matter how hard that I seem to try. Sometimes I fall down and I stumble all over my own disguise. I try to look strong as the whole world looks on. Sometimes alone I cry. Hallelujah. Sometimes I fall down and I stumble all over my own disguise. I try to look strong as the whole world looks on. But sometimes alone I cry. I try to look strong as the whole world looks on. But the truth is, sometimes alone I cry. Still give you praise, Lord. Glory to your name. Well, I got the scars to show. I barely made it along life's road. 'Cause when my life got dark, he was the only spark, the light at the end of the road. Real story, true words them there. Well, this is Servant David. And this one here, it's a vid. And I know I said I was going to do this more in my LSs. So this is, I'm not sure if it will be the last, but this is the first video I'm really doing, kind of strictly maintaining towards health, So you may see me looking down, and that's because I'm reading over my notes, and because I don't want to, miss anything out. So I may be reading straight, or I may be reading piece. You can tell when I'm reading or whatever. But I kind of want to get this across to you as best as I can. So down below in the comments, you guys tell me what you think, and we'll go from there. Yeah. So as a child, I was born with a rare disease called Hirschsprung's disease, and Hirschsprung's disease is basically it's like an intestinal disease, and it's a very, very, very rare disease. They say 1 in 5,000 kids are born with it. But guess what? I'm that one. Yeah. Under the age of a year old, I had 5 different open stomach surgeries. 5 different open stomach surgeries. And it's all due to me being born with Hirschsprung's disease. Hirschsprung's disease it's a disease which occurs in approximately, like I said before, 5,000 newborn kids. You know what I mean? Hirschsprung disease it's a condition you are born with. That causes blockage in your intestines. And they say that children with Hirschsprung disease lack nerves in the bottom segment of the colon. These nerves normally allow the muscles in the wall of the bowels to contract, moving digested materials downstream toward the anus so that it can be, eliminated outside of the body. A child's large intestines, you guys listen to this, a newborn baby's large intestines is 5 feet long. 5 feet long. And Hirschsprung disease can affect either a small or a large portion of that organ. The condition occurs most commonly in the upper rectum or the sigmoid colon, which is the very last part of the large intestines before stool reaches the anus. Children with Hirschsprung disease will always need surgery and to remove the non-functional segment of the intestines and restore the ability to push out stool through the, digest through the anus, with proper surgical care and aftercare and all of that. They say that, children with that are born with that, and they go through proper care, proper surgeries and stuff like that, most recover and they can go on with a normal life, and things can move as functional. For me, it took a while for it to actually be okay per se, because I would have certain issues. Like I would have to worry about things that I eat. Certain foods I couldn't eat. Even now, I can't eat certain foods or too much of certain foods, such as dairy, which we shouldn't eat dairy anyways. But that's for another topic, but dairy, certain greens I can't have, or else it'll run my belly. Now, with me going through that as a child, I didn't have much of a childhood like a lot of others did. You know how you would have some sleepovers sometimes? I couldn't sleep over. It was rough in school. At times I would have accidents because remember, the nerves inside are damaged. So it takes a long time for them to be restored, if they ever get restored. But yeah, it's been a rough time with it. I think maybe my last episode with it was maybe in my 20s, my early 20s, 23, 24, somewhere around like that, where I last had any problems. I mean, I would go to the bathroom on myself in my sleep, especially in my sleep. Once in a while, it would happen during the day, but a lot in my sleep, back in my younger years. And the last episode that ever happened that was concerning that, my stomach or anything like that, I was probably about 24 years old, so and I'm what, 47 now, so soon to be 48. So yeah, but I just wanted to kind of tell you guys a little bit about that. And again, I am not a doctor, as you probably can see, and I don't want to be a doctor. But anything that I tell you that maybe that is related to health or pertaining to health, don't just take it from me. I'm not saying don't listen to me, because I know what I'm talking about. But you have to go do your own research and talk to who you have to talk to get the knowledge that you need to confirm that what I'm saying is actually true whenever you hear me talking about certain things, and as for some may say, well, why would you even come out and tell people that, or why would you give people things in such detail? Why? Because I am honest, straightforward, raw, uncut, upfront. And a lot of times I just speak from my mind or my heart. I just speak out. Like I speak as I don't think sometimes, even though you should, before I talk, because what I'm going to say is truth.
sometimes I need to think about how I'm going to say it, because a lot of times it's not what you say, it's how you say it, and I'm aware that that can offend someone. But anyone who knows me knows that I never intentionally offend someone, unless it's a selfish, out of flesh payback or something like that. But also I tell my situation, because sometimes silence can hurt. So by me speaking out, there could be many others who actually go through that and experience that, or have experienced that, or are going through something else that they thought was so bad, and they see this and they encourage them to go on and go on and go on. All right. So again, this is Servant David, and this topic is Hirschsprung's disease. I just want to tell each and every one of you that always remember to put God first in all that you do. All that you do. So with that being said, I want to say, Almighty God, I thank you. And I give you glory for this video right here. May it reach someone who maybe have went through the same thing I've been through, or maybe it just educates someone on it. Lord God, I thank you for your presence. I thank you for your glory. And I say hallelujah and amen. And to you, and you, and you, manners, love, and elevation. Servant David says so.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have on the camera Mr. Servant David. We've been talking about this interview for quite a while, and I'm glad he's able to come today and provide his time to. I'm hearing some background. You don't have any headphones or anything, right?
You're on the speaker still.
I'm on the speaker. All right. Well, all right. I'm hearing a little.
Hold on. Let me see if. Hold on.
Yeah, because it's just that I'm hearing a little feedback. You're coming through good enough, which is good. I like that. I just want to make sure any little distraction is not an issue. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to get started. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Servant David, pleasant day to you. So, welcome to Ruler Brown Network and all the networks. Checking you out also on Facebook. Big man, good day. How are you doing?
I am blessed regardless,
Mm-hmm. All right, what you can do for me, see, when you're speaking, try and keep, wherever you have the mic or the phone, keep your mouth, not your mouth, but keep your face towards that. You don't have to come that close, but just speak. Don't turn away. In other words, try not to turn away, or else we're going to get some messing up of the sound. So, okay, just let the listeners know who you are, where you're from. I know you're from Jamaica, but just give the listeners a background, which school you attended, which parish, when you came to the States, just for leading, so we can get started. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, well, first of all, let me take time out to say thanks to God and thanks to you, Ruler, for allowing this to happen. I also want to do a small little prayer before I go into it.
Blessings.
Dear God, I ask that let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable unto your sight. May someone learn from this, be inspired from this, and also do not take this as a pity party, because it's not about pity or fame or any of that. It's just me bringing awareness to this and other things as well. So I ask you to give me strength, Lord, in these things. Glory to your name. Okay, my name is Servant David. born in Jamaica, grew up in, in St. Anne's. I didn't spend much time in Jamaica. I came here from young. Actually, started school here in the U.S. When I say here, I mean in the U.S. I started school here. So I did all my schooling and everything basically here in the U.S. Started off in Hartford, Connecticut, and then grew up a few years, and then as I get older, I end up, into manhood. I end up moving down to Oklahoma. I spent some time in Oklahoma, probably about 6-7 years, and then came back here, and then, we're here now. So that's basically where I'm from, and the beginning of me. As a child, I was born. To me, you see, my whole life is like a testimony. To me, anyways, it's like from birth, I was born sick. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of a disease. It's a rare disease called Hirschsprung's disease, and it's an intestinal disease. It's something to do with the intestines.
Could you please repeat the word? Is it Hirschsprung?
Yeah.
What Hirschsprung? What's the word? Hirschsprung?
Hirsch, H-E-R-S, Hirsch.
Yeah, gotcha. Sprungs. Okay, gotcha.
Hirschsprung's disease.
Okay.
And it's a rare disease, but it's with the intestines. And under the age of a year, I had like 5 different open stomach surgeries. So I spent most of my life in the hospital.
Wow.
And I tell you this to kind of shed a little bit of light on what happens later on in life. Me spending most of my life in the hospital from young, put kind of like a fear into me. Just the smell alone, the injections, the doctors in the outfits and all that just kind of put a fear in me. Like So as time go on, I grow up and like I said, I move to Oklahoma, spend a few years there, come back here. I've been married twice. So I got married here and then moved to Oklahoma and then go through a divorce, come back here, and just December 17th this year went through my second divorce. So I don't know, maybe marriage is not for me.
So I clearly the early days, the early experiences weren't that smooth, but you decide that look, you're not gonna make nothing hold you back, and you're in Connecticut. In your early days in Connecticut, what were some of the things you were involved with?
Before conversion
no, we're talking before you converted, but just to give
always from the idea I have a love for dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had this thing for dogs. Music is another thing. And just growing up basically, just go in my early years, it was just music and dogs and the normal thing some of us go through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the dogs, because later on we're going to touch on the fact that you mentioned about dogs. Later on we'll be able to make a slight connection with what you've been going through and how you've been surviving, reaching out and doing different things. You got to a point where you started singing. So let's touch a little bit about the singing. Then we're gonna go through to your situation. Singing. When did you start singing, and how did you first decide to do some singing? I know you were just touch on that for me, please.
Yeah. Well, from early childhood, I would say like in my teen years, this phone is acting up. I would say from like my teen years, you know, going to school and stuff. Like I've always had a thing for music, you know, and I've done selecting and everything. But my greatest passion was more performing music. So I would, as you would say, do like dancehall DJ music, you know, all right, you know, worldly music.
All right, so who did that? So just gonna play a couple of bars.
A little bit of rapping here, a little bit of, you know, stuff like that.
All right, let me play.
And then as I get,
David, yeah, let me just play a couple of bars so that people can hear. Not much, going to play just a couple of bars and then we play one other one. Just yes, Serpent David, the man on the screen again, diagnosed with lung cancer, skin cancer, and AIDS a year ago. All right, indeed, the voice of David going to give you one more. All right, indeed. All right, Mr. David going to give you one more, and then we're going to give you.
Greetings in the name of the Most High. In this day we face him as Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Glory be to God all the while. Well, enough of them a big imposter. Every day them get the power.
All right, folks, you're not getting too much height in the guy. He doesn't do that anymore. We're just giving you a backdrop as to when he got started. So those were the kind of stuff you were doing, and then you changed. When did you actually start to do like this one? I want for you to comment on this one. I'm longing for home, all right?
The Most High, each and every time, certain like the successful. I'm only a pilgrim and stranger in this unfriendly world that I run. Jesus has brought me from darkness, has promised me a heavenly home. In the Bible, we read about that.
Big song, you know, we've been playing this for about. But when did I first meet you on my shows? Do you remember when? David?
No.
Yes, sir. I was asking, when did I first meet you on these shows? Because I know Tim Ruello, Lee Hammond were some of the people when I first met you. How long ago was that, by the way? You remember?
Oh.
5 years?
Approximately 5 years ago.
Yes. All right.
5 to 6 years ago.
Yes, and you sent me this one, and I've been playing it since then. And you are a brother that's quite humble. You are a Christian, a true Christian. And I want for you to talk about the situation you're now faced with. Talk about what led up to you finding out that you, a year ago, just let the listeners know, what did you find out about the current situation you're in? Yeah.
All right. As I said, you know, I was married twice, and I was just recently going through my second one. I would say last year, around actually not even last year, 2017, November, is when a lot of the I guess you would say signs started to come out. Like I would see little marks on my body, but just take it as maybe a little rash or something, because eczema runs big in the family, you know. And but again, I'm not a doctor type person. I don't run to the doctor. I don't like the doctor. I just don't, you know. So I never really went for any checkups or anything like that. And then down in December, I started to get sick. Backing up a little bit, you know, going to church and or just being around, people would see me and they would make comment like, "Why, servant, brother David, you're looking good. You look like you're losing weight, man, and this and that." And I never saw the weight loss.
I never felt it. I never saw it. I wasn't on no diet. I just wasn't seeing the weight loss, but other people were. And like I said, down into December now, I started to get real sick, like with fevers of 102, 103. The last time it was 104 point something, and that's when I was rushed to the hospital. They kept saying like they want to test me for give me a HIV test, and I would say no, I don't need no test, I don't need that test, I don't need that test. And even in years past, they would ask me anytime I did end up going to a doctor for some. They would, I guess it's recommended that they ask each patient, and I would always turn it down.
Yeah, and you're figuring, well, hey, clearly you have no reason to want to have an HIV test because you probably weren't in any of the risk group. Is that why?
At the time, so I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see, let me clarify that. When I say risk group, okay, let me get this straight from the get-go. One of the main reasons I'm telling my story is because I have no shame in it. This thing can happen to anybody. It can happen to the old, the young, even the unborn baby. I know I am not bisexual. I am not gay or anything like that. So I'm good, you know?
Right.
No, the other way you can catch it is through using IVs. I know I don't do drugs.
Intravenous drugs, yes.
Using the needles and sharing needles. I don't do needles. I'm afraid of needles, remember? Mm-hmm. So, obviously, it's not that. But I was loose and foolish. You know, me and condom wasn't friends. I didn't like condoms too tough. I'm not saying I've never ever used it. I just, most of the time, I did. I probably use it about 5 times in my whole life.
So basically, you were promiscuous out there with women, and you were protecting yourself the best way you can. Is that correct?
Yes, but not. I wasn't using condom.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I wasn't using condom.
You were not, right?
You know, I was not, and that's where the risk factor comes into play. But me blindly not just thinking like, oh, I'm not using needles or I'm not gay, and that's the way I can catch it.
Right.
Was foolish.
Gotcha.
You know. And so I got sick. They started to treat it as bronchitis.
Before
you gave me medicines for it and this and that, and after a while, you know, I went back for like checkup or for you know, like a update on it, and I still wasn't getting any better or anything like that, and they just kept on, especially the coughing, you know, and they just kept on pushing that I get the test. So it wasn't done. That was in December. It wasn't until February. No, I'm getting really weak. When I say lose weight, if you see me, I suck out like, you know. You would think I was using drugs. You know. I then noticed the weight loss big time, because at times it would be painful to sleep because it seemed like I'm sleeping on my bone. You know, it seemed like it just not painful to sleep. You know, look in the mirror, you see the collarbone, it's sucking.
Wow.
I can see my the backbone, and it was just crazy. Fevers coming, vomiting, all kind of stuff. So
David,
February, and I went back for, like I said, for a checkup.
David, hold your thoughts for a second. David. So here we are. When you speak of February, it's February 18, correct?
18.
No,
February 2018.
No, were you living with any loved ones? Were you living alone in family? Were you married then? What's the story there?
Okay. So that's why I say I back up into 2017, where I was married and we went through our things, you know, and I tried to make the marriage work, try to make it work or whatever. It wasn't working. In November of 2017 is when that was it. I basically ended up leaving the house. You know, we parked, you know. I ended up going back at my parents' house, and this is 2017, so I ended up back at my parents' house in 2017 of November, right? About a week before Thanksgiving or something like that. Then December, I start to get like sick, and then you know January, and then February, and I feel like what brought on a lot of this sickness is stress.
Stress, okay.
Stressing because of the situation and stuff like that, and I feel like it brought out a lot of things. So then like I said, we boost into 2018 January, still sick. Ending of January, a little bit better, but still coughing up all kind of stuff and and February was the last straw, high fever, rushed into the hospital, and they're telling me if I didn't come in, how this would have happened and that would have happened. They suggested I take a HIV test and this and that, and I was iffing and butting about it. And finally I just said, okay, as long as it's just a prick. I don't want you to have to like draw blood and all of that kind of. They said, no, you just got to prick the finger, and then we find out, you know, if you have it. That was the initial test, and it was the longest 30 minutes I ever waited in my life. The doctor went away. You know, they pricked me with my finger. They went away. They come back and he said, sorry to tell you, but you're positive. And I blacked out, I guess, or spaced out, or I don't know what you want to call it. I just went into like a steer. Like I don't know, blacked out. I call it blackout.
No. Let me ask you this. At this time, though, you've been active in the church, and when you went for this test, did you have anyone from the church, or you just went there by yourself? Because going for this type of test, hopefully you would have had somebody there to provide some immediate strength. What was that like?
By myself.
By yourself?
By myself.
So
all by myself. No wife, no children, no mom, no dog, no nothing. Just me. I just went to the hospital, and like I said, he come back and he tell me it's positive.
Speaking of children, you have children, right? How many children do you have?
Three kids.
Okay, all right. And
well, I mean, then again, I can't even say I have a lot of children. Biologically, only one, you know.
Okay.
But I adapt to kids and kids adapt to me. So it's like I take them on as mine. Just like I said, I was married twice. Right. So my first wife, she has children, which are my children. You can't tell me they're not. You can't tell them I'm not. It's just one of those things. And the same with the recent ex-wife. She has kids, and they're like my kids as well. And she even have two grown kids who have kids. And it's like, to me, they're my kids as well.
Understand. So David, by this time, you got the news from the doctor. Shocking. You didn't know what to do. You couldn't move. Did you at some point, whether then and there or maybe shortly thereafter, try to reflect how you could have gotten the disease? Did you ever try to discern what happened?
I tried to discern. You see, the thing about AIDS, HIV, and AIDS is this thing is a genius of a monster.
Mm-hmm.
It's a monster and it's a genius.
Mm-hmm.
This thing, okay. They say that HIV causes AIDS if untreated.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for it to take, I'm trying to explain this so everyone will understand.
Yeah, man, take it down. Go ahead.
Okay, HIV turns into AIDS when untreated. For instance, like your white blood cells are your good blood cells. The blood cells that are used to fight off all and any bacteria. You see the human body?
Mm-hmm.
Don't let no doctor fool you. The human body is designed to heal itself as long as we take care of it.
Yeah.
For it to do
what
it's supposed to do.
Right.
Okay. Your white blood cells are your soldier cells per se, the ones that do all the fighting. Your red blood cells, your red blood cells are the ones that give you your oxygen. When HIV enters your body, it attacks specific parts of your body, your lymph nodes and your white blood cells, mainly your white blood cells. It's designed to do that. It was made by man to do that. So it starts to eat up your white blood cells. The average human is supposed to have between 500 and 1,200 white blood cells. When I got diagnosed, I only had 27 white blood cells.
What? It's almost zero. 500 to 1,200, you only have 27.
Like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, wow. 27. 2, 7. That's it.
Wow.
White blood cell. So that's why. So when they first took the initial prick of the finger, that just tells you that you are HIV positive. It doesn't tell you how much of the virus is inside of you.
Gotcha.
So I had to go back for a follow-up, which was the next day, to get blood drawn, and then they send it to the lab. I wait a few days, and then they give you the results. So back to the white blood cells now and HIV. The HIV, it eats up the white blood cells. Once the white blood cells reach under 200, you start to fall into the AIDS status.
Gotcha.
And that's when they say consider it AIDS. So yeah, in February when I got tested, I was full blown AIDS.
Wow.
They said that the count was, I don't have the paperwork with me. I wish I should have had it. Sorry, but at the time it was 300 billion copies of the AIDS virus. You see, the virus, it multiplies by the second. It duplicates it. It attacks the white blood cells and goes inside of it, fooling the rest of the body, letting the body think that white blood cell that is now infected is a good blood cell, which it really isn't. It's an infected one. And the virus grows inside that white blood cell until it progresses to more, and then it starts to just take over kill all the good cells, where you only have bad cells. So no, you don't. Another thing is you don't die from AIDS. AIDS is called autoimmune deficiency. It means that your immune system has shut down. What kills you normally when infected with HIV is a specific kind of pneumonia. or other kind of things, such as a simple cold, lung cancer, like I have, and anything, just touching a dirty doorknob and then rub your eye,
Right.
where you would probably, the average person would probably get pink eye. I would die because, or could really die because, I don't have anything to fight off.
Right.
Those type of
No antibodies to fight against.
right. So, but the thing about this now, like I said, the average person is supposed to have between 500 and 1200 white blood cells. Let's take you, Ruler, and let's take me, for instance, right? Me and you meet Sally. Her name is Sally. Me and you meet Sally. And the two of us have, relations with Sally. Let's say it happened the same day. The difference is, with you, Ruler, let's just say you are the type of person that you eat right, you stay fit, you take care of your body. And me now, I smoke, I eat junk food, I don't exercise, I don't do much of anything. My immune system from start and your immune system from start, yours is stronger than mine. So let's say we're supposed to have 500 to 1200. Let's say you have 900 and I have 600, right? We're still healthy, but your immune system is stronger than mine.
Right.
Now the HIV comes into both of us because we both had relations with Sally. My immune system starts to get eaten up more than yours, even though yours is getting attacked as well. Mine get eaten up even quicker than yours.
Yeah, the rate.
So my immune system drops faster and lower than what yours would. So instead of this thing supposed to, not like they say, it takes 8 to 10 years for it to progress into AIDS, I can progress into AIDS within months because of the level of my good white blood cells from start. The thing is, nobody ever really knows unless they constantly are going to get checked for their white blood cells and this and that. Unless they regularly do stuff like that, they won't know what their average count is.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So, no, you get it, and I get it, but I start to die off or show symptoms quicker than you. You understand it?
Yeah, man. Following it. I don't want to interrupt you because you're on a flow, so go ahead.
So basically, that's where they found me. They found me at my CD4 count was 27, and the virus load was like 300 billion, something or another.
All right.
Some crazy number.
All right. So let's take it here from here now. So here you are. You're full-blown AIDS, and some of it you did not even realize. At this point, February 2018, you got the test. On the 15th of February, though, you were diagnosed, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you had lung and skin cancer and AIDS. Can you describe the integral, if there's any such thing, in terms of when you found out you have the cancers, and where the cancers was a reason from the AIDS and so forth? Just talk about that for me.
Okay. A lot of sicknesses and diseases can hide dormant in the body.
Right.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah. Let me just say, we're hearing you, but it wasn't as clear like before. I don't know if you move something or the phone is resting on something. We're hearing you now, but we're not hearing the middle part of your voice. So whatever you did before, if not, just continue. We don't want to lose you. We still have another 28 minutes to go. So just continue.
Oh, time flies.
Yeah, man. It's interesting information. Go ahead. Yeah, man. Go on, Tom.
All right. Where was I?
You were talking about. So you were talking about some of the illness can be dormant in you. You're not even aware.
Okay. Yes. So no. Some of the a lot of illnesses can be dormant, from diabetes to various cancers, eczema, herpes. A lot of stuff we can all have, and it's dormant in our system until somehow it comes out, or our immune system is altered somehow, and then it starts to come out. Like I said, I was getting sick, and I got tested for the HIV. After the test for the HIV, after the initial test, because it was 2 tests, right? So after that initial test, I went and I got a test for everything, because I was, like I said, I was having problems. I was having coughing up phlegm, cough up a few times. I coughed up blood, just a lot of different symptoms was going on. So they decided to run a full test of everything. And it wasn't until about the, I think it was the 20th or a few days after the 15th, when I was diagnosed with lung cancer and the skin cancer.
Wow. No, so at this point, right, you found out you have these 3 things. At some point, though, you have to start to follow a certain routine, eat healthy, go and get your checkups. How was that going? Because looking at you now, you're super healthy. The way you look healthy compared to how you said you were before, skinny and a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, you've been doing something correct. Talk about from the time when you start to transition to doing the right thing, follow what the doctor said versus optional medicine that you were looking into.
Okay. When I first got diagnosed, they immediately wanted to start me on antiretroviral. I don't even know how to say it, but medication that is specifically for antiviral medications, right? That are specifically for this type of thing. Again, I've never been one for doctors. I've never really been one to want to take any type of pills like Tylenol and all those kind of things, because my view is, yes, the bottle might say it's for this and that, and it might say what's in it and what's not in it, but 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to look up every ingredient to see what every ingredient is. I wasn't there to make the pill, so I'm not going to take too much medications, too much pill. I don't like it. So They wanted me to right away start it, because they said if I don't, it could be weeks before I'm gone. So they kind of convinced me, and I started to take the drug. I was first started off on one that they call Truvada, which was again something that I just is against. It was where they with needles. They had to do it, giving you through the needles and stuff like that. And I couldn't really deal with it. And not only that I couldn't deal with it, but it wasn't making any change. Nothing was getting better. Nothing was getting worse. But it was just stagnant.
So 1 second, brother David. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 11:37 a.m. We're speaking with Servant David. He's chronicling the 3 diseases he was diagnosed with February 15 of last year: lung cancer, skin cancer, and AIDS. The question I have for you, David, you were getting treatment, I think called Truvada. I'm not sure if I captured the name correctly. Obviously you had the 3 diseases at the time, so you had to be taking multiple medications. Normally, when we hear of AIDS, the first thing they want to give you is radiation and chemotherapy. So before we go on to the alternative methods that you checked out, talk a little about any chemo or radiation you were getting, if any.
Okay, well, like I said, they didn't find out about the lung cancer. The skin cancer, they kind of put 2 and 2 together and kind of, so I had to go to a dermatologist and all of that to get samples, etc., and that's how they dealt with that. The lung cancer, even though everything was kind of around the same time within a few days, they didn't find out until after I got tested with the HIV. Now, lung cancer, AIDS and HIV, they usually treat it with drugs, like pills and stuff like that. Lung cancer, skin cancer, or any other kind of cancer, they usually treat it with radiation, chemotherapy, even though chemotherapy can also be in the form of a pill, chemotherapy and radiation and some other ways that they can treat it. But the thing is, with an AIDS patient, it is very, very risky to do chemo or any type of radiation.
Gotcha.
Because what chemo doesn't have any sense, any eyes or any brain. Right. The only thing chemo knows is how to kill all cells.
Yeah.
So it's going to kill your red blood cells, your white blood cells. It's going to kill
good
all
and bad.
cells.
Good and bad. Yeah.
If it kills my white blood cells, I not only just have 27, I won't have any white blood cells to fight at all. Right. Which means the virus would end up taking over completely and
reduces the chance of surviving.
Right. So within days, or right there in surgery, right there receiving chemo, I could go. So it was a risky thing. They attempted it, and like they said, they thought it was eating up my good cells. I was basically getting worse.
Yes, I understand.
Like my eyesight was going. My hair was really dropping out, and my scalp peeling off. And
all right, let me go back to this though. I know you were big in the church. You still are big in the church. At this time, while these things were happening, did you draw any affinity to anybody from the church to relate to them what you're experiencing? And did you get any help whatsoever?
Yeah.
Take your time, man. Take your time. I know it's rough. And you've shown a lot of courage, to come and do your presentation. So let's take a deep breath and do your thing. All right. If you're ready, just go ahead and see if you can answer that.
I'm not going to say there wasn't anybody there to give me support, because there was. But there were also those who seemed to turn from me, maybe because of stigma, maybe because of belief, meaning like whatever they might be thinking, why I have or why I got, or I don't know their reasons. I don't care about their reasons. But so there were some, but the majority of the help did not come from the church.
Understand. All right. I'm going to try and fast forward a little. I want to catch everything in the next 15 minutes. No, you were getting treatment. You were getting help from your medical doctor. At some point, you transitioned. Talk about the transition, and to whom did you transition from herbalist doctors and so forth, and talk about when did you start to see the change?
Well, it wasn't about maybe 3-4 months now. About 4 months ago, when I don't know if I should say this now.
All right, hold the charts here. Hold the charts. Again, if you don't want to say release anything, you're free to hold back. All right. So if anything that you're not sure about, just hold back. All right. So, but
I'm gonna answer as I can.
Yes. Okay. No problem.
Or as wise as I can.
No problem.
It wasn't until about maybe 3-4 months ago, like I said, that after all because I started on one type and then they switched me to another type, and none of them was doing nothing for me besides a whole bunch of side effects, this and that, So I started to get frustrated, you know, and I guess that's when I guess maybe really went into prayer, really went into seeking God, I would say. And he gave me a vision, or a dream per se, maybe a dream, I don't know. But he gave me a vision, and it was about an herbal doctor. At the time, I've never, ever in my life heard about this person or nothing like that. I never really heard about him. But in the dream, the person's name was Chevy, and he was basically guiding me to some type of doctor. But as we know, dreams are kind of funny. So I woke up and I'm sitting there, and the dream it was vivid, like if I was alive, not alive, awake.
Yeah,
you know? And like it was real.
Yes.
And so I woke up, I'm laying there, I'm thinking about it. And out of nowhere, a friend of mine called me. I haven't heard from this person in years, in a while, you know. And he called me, and I guess he must have heard from someone, you know, what happened or whatever. And he asked me, and I straight out and told him. And he told me to check out a doctor named Dr. Sebi. So when he told, now mind you, I just woke up. I'm still in my bed, laying down. It had to be like 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning. I'm still laying down. He calls me and tells me this. So when he says Sebi, I'm thinking like a dream in my head, and then him saying Sebi, but the dream was Chevy.
Right. The dream was Chevy, and he said Sebi. Right.
So I'm thinking, and I said, okay, who is this person? He said it's a herbal doctor that they end up killing and this and that. But he was basically telling me just to go and look him up, you know. So I went and I started looking him up, and I started, you know, following him. And he's a very intellectual person, very smart individual. And I just started following him and following his story and just researching him, basically. And one day I said, you know, let me try it. Let me try this. And in researching him, I didn't just research him, but I also started to research other herbalists, you know. One thing, a lot of people think Dr. Sebi is an actual doctor. Dr. Sebi is not really a doctor. He's an herbalist, but that's a little bit, you know, off point. But I just wanted to make that clear.
Understood.
So yeah, I just started, you know, looking up a lot of different herbalists, a lot of, you know, but mainly Dr. Sebi, because it seemed like he stood out more to me. Maybe because of the dream.
The dream, right? That makes sense.
Right. So maybe that I could blame that on self-preference. you know. So I like I said, I started looking up and on him and learning a lot. His products are expensive, but I was eventually able to order some of his stuff with help of some good friends of mine also help.
Yes, I would
contribute to getting stuff from there to here.
Yeah.
And I started taking it. And started, the main thing though, I started to eat right. I started to change my diet. No more meat, no blood, no meat, no fish, no fried this, no fried that. I just went organic, vegan, basically. You know, and I start to see a difference. First, with my skin.
Right.
You know, and then, you know, with just the way I'm feeling, and I start to gain weight.
Right.
I start to get an appetite.
Nice.
You know, and it's a certain immune system tea that Dr. Sebi also has that I ordered, and it helps to boost your immune system. Right. So I started taking that and along with, you know, other stuff and going to the gym.
Nice.
And you know, I'm lazy. I'm not an exercise person. That's back in the day when I used to box.
Right.
And stuff like that. That, you know, no. But when you're faced between life and death and you have to choose, a lot of times life will give you a slap in the back of the head and say, hey,
right,
you need to do this, you need to do
that. Let me ask you this quickly. I'm running out of time, only about 5 minutes remaining. Ladies and gentlemen, again, Servant David. I can't believe the time went out so quick. All right, so Servant David, in many of your photographs that you've taken, we only see with dogs, different kind of dogs. I don't know if you train them or anything. Therapy. How does the dog provide some form of therapy while you're going through this?
Absolutely.
How so?
You don't even have to finish the question. Absolutely. My preference in dogs is the American Pit Bull Terrier. I've always had a love for them. I think what really got me attached to them, like I said, as a child, I was sick and I was in the hospital. And they had a dog in there that I don't know if it was a pit bull or what it resembled a pit bull. Maybe it was. I'm not sure. But it looked like a pit bull back then. And it was like it's a therapy dog. Right. You know, that they would have go around with the kids and you know, whoever. So I think that's where I really gained most of my love for dogs, you know, because I'm spending most of my time inside the hospital. The first animal that I really see is a dog. You know what I mean? So I think maybe that's where my love for dogs grew. As I got older, you know, I have a love for all dogs, but I'm in love with the American Pit Bull Terrier. I do minimum training for myself, so please nobody try to call me. I'm not going to train your dog. No. So I do minimum training with my own dog. Right. You know, I chose the pit bull because the pit bull has a bad reputation, and there was a point where they were basically trying to make them extinct because everywhere you go, they're banned here, they're banned here. When they go to the Humane Society, they don't get a full chance like all the other breeds, and they end up putting them to sleep on very. So I know that the American Pit Bull can be used for many other things than what they initially used them for, and so that's kind of why I gravitated more to the American Pit Bull Terrier. But no, again, I do not train. So all those who may be just logging on, I don't train. I'm not training your dog. No, I will pet your dog. I will like your dog. I might love your dog, but I'm not going to train any dog.
All right, we have another 5 minutes. If anyone who's listening in the chat room or wherever, if you'd like to call in and just say a quick word, it won't be long. Just hi, and any words of encouragement because we're running out of time. While that is happening, Servant David, your follow up with the medical doctors now that you've been making a lot of progress, going through the alternative medicine route, and clearly you've rebounded strongly, and you're looking strong, you're looking well, your voice is strong. I know I spoke to you the other day and you had a little rough day, but how about the follow-up to get check out some of your current readings and make sure things are going okay? How is that like?
Well, I still keep my appointments. I still go to the doctors and stuff like that. And like I said, it wasn't until about 3-4 months ago when I decided to go a different way.
We have a call coming in. We're going to see if we can pick up this one call coming in. Carla, good morning. How are you doing? Welcome to the show. Carla? Carla, you there?
Hi, Rula, it's Lee.
Brother Lee, calling all the way from Canada, my Bridget. Lee, go ahead, talk to Brother David from it up. Go ahead, sir.
David, I just wanted to call and offer some words of encouragement and let you know we are all thinking of you. And your daily messages that you provided on Facebook have always been an inspiration and helped lift me up when I've been low. And you sent me some messages on my birthday that have helped me, and I just wanted to call and try and do the same for you. So know that we're thinking of you, and we all have you. Our prayers are going out to you, and that's all I wanted to pass along to you, my friend.
Brother Liebach, don't go. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard his name many times over the past 6 years. Like I said, I think I meant Liebach, Roel Lowe, a whole bunch of persons, including Servant David at the same time. He's there in Canada, and I want to say I salute yourself for calling in. David, take your time to respond to Liebach. Go ahead, sir.
Bless love to you, Lee. How you do? I appreciate you. Thank you. I thank you. Thank you.
All right, bless. And just heal up his son up there from here, Liebach.
Okay.
All right.
You guys all take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care. Thank you so much.
God bless you, my brother.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to make a call in, I want to thank Servant David for calling in all the way from Canada. You had a little speech that's there.
It made me feel good.
Yes, man, enough to make you feel good. I mean. All right, folks, if you'd like to make a call quickly and say a shout out to Servant David, the number is 770-744-2154. David, in the meantime, you were about to answer, but then you hesitated about the follow-up checkups and so forth.
I go for my follow-ups. Okay. I'm just going to say it. I stopped taking my meds. The meds that they were giving me. I did not tell them. I don't know if any of the nurses or doctors or anybody is listening. 3-4 months ago, I stopped taking my meds because, like I said, the first time they would give me a certain one, it didn't work. They switched to another one, and it was still the same results, side effects, this and that. So I decided to stop, but I did not tell the doctors that I decided to stop. I decided to go, the herbal way and changing my diet and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I decided to also, not just because a lot of times they will do all type of things, and I'm kind of afraid that they will try to lock me up or think I'm crazy trying to kill me. I don't know. So that's why I didn't tell them that I stopped taking my meds. But if they are watching now, yeah, I stopped taking it and I've been going, you know, herbal. But yet, as you know, I've still been coming for my check-ins. And to tell you the truth, the levels have dropped. The virus levels has dropped, and my CD4 levels has risen. So that's one of the main reasons. That is the main reason, probably the only reason why I'm looking way better than I was.
Yes.
I'm feeling way much better.
Yeah.
And stuff because my immune system is starting to build back up.
All right, I tell you what, we're going to give you at least 90 seconds.